What's up, motherfucks? So I figured I'd tell. I just was doing another video, and I was like, yeah, I'll put it into a different video. It's like how we got our dogs. So how we got our dog Abby was that it was just Chewy and Ren. Well, long story short, Ren was like a crazy, super anxious Chihuahua that we had that we ended up giving to like the neighbor or whatever. Here, let me put in the code really quick. Or whatever, we ended up giving to the neighbor because, like in the trailer park, because he stayed at home and he had an older dog that needed a friend, and he just sat around, he needed something to comfort him, and that's what he used to do for my grandma. And he was like a little neurotic, so he needed that constant attention. And we got Ren when my wife was 16. I adopted him for her birthday, or whatever. Yeah, that was him. That was his whatever. And Chewy, Sierra got from some black people, I think in Oakland or Richmond or somewhere, like back when she was like 9 or something, because he's about to be 14 in next May, you know, so he's definitely an OG motherfucker. But yeah, and then with Moose, my wife, you know, of course, went on Craigslist a lot and was looking for different dogs, and we actually had what the fuck was her name? I know Nicole had one named it too, but we had we had 3 German Shepherds. It was the first one, I forgot what the hell her name was, honestly, it's been so long. And then we had our second one, which was Alexi, or whatever I named, because it's like Alexi Leo, you know. But, yeah, fuck, what was the first one's name? I don't remember. But yeah, so Moose was our 3rd German Shepherd. And what happened with that was I went station times 12 minutes. That's really not that long. Okay, it's gonna put you back on run. Okay. But with Moose, I went to there was a bunch of black people. It's kind of like looked like kind of a gang house, to be hella honest. And they had like, you know, German Shepherds protecting the property and everything. And those were his parents. And then they had all the puppies come out, you know, like they literally just opened the little gate thing, and then a bunch of German Shepherd puppies came running out. Well, Moosey, he just came out of the kennel, like walked about a foot and laid down on my foot, you know, and he just cuddled my foot. And I'm like, okay, I'll take this one. And weirdly, they were like, okay, because he, you know, he has a small pecker anyway, so he's not going to be good for breeding. I was like, well, I'm not looking into that, you know, I don't give a shit, you know. And they're like, oh, cool. So it was like $200 or $300, you know. But I feel like he picked me, you know, like he literally came out of his kennel and laid on my foot, you know, so circumstantial. So it's just like, that's what's hard too, is like when you go to pick out a puppy and there's multiple ones, it's like, how do you know which one to get? Like, you know, you're literally making like a life-changing decision, like you're choosing something to be part of your life, you know. So it was kind of cool that he chose me. And that was back in the time when me and Sarah were going through a rough patch, and like I was sleeping in the other room. I made the den like kind of my room, and Moose was such a hot puppy, like he'd get overheated so bad, so I got back into the room by having him, you know, because he had to be air conditioned, and we installed an window unit air conditioning into my room, so I got back in the room that way, so that was helpful. But he couldn't, like, he was the most chillest puppy, and that's like with the rest of the German Shepherds that we had. What the fuck? I'm really close to saying her goddamn name. Oh, Sasha was the first German Shepherd, or whatever. It was spelled Sascha, like that was the spelling of it. But, what the fuck is this? Fucking tweakers. That's Kevin Tree Service. Okay, faggots. But, what the fuck was I saying? Sasha. Okay, but yeah, no, so Moosey was like the chillest puppy, and that's probably why we kept him, because like our first German Shepherd, like she pooped like every half an hour. She would have like legit diarrhea, and then it went to like every 3 hours. So I was waking up like every 2 to 3 hours, just, you know, hosing her down outside. And I remember it was cold, and like, you know, just hosing out shit. And we ended up giving her to like this one family that like was like a cop, and he used to train German Shepherds. Now he just wanted one for the family. And then with our Lexi one, we literally got her from a Mexican's house that she was like literally just in a fucking pile of dirt with her siblings. She didn't even see the mom anymore, or she was like hella skinny or something. They looked like one of the damn puppies, you know. It was obviously seemed like abusive, and with her, she was too shy and skittish, and, you know, I felt like she wasn't happy there. you know, so we ended up getting Moose, and I'm trying to think. I think we did have Abby at that time. I'm trying to fucking think. I don't know why my mind's being weird. I'll ask my wife when I get back and maybe make a notation in this or something. But yeah, so with Moose, he was like just the nicest puppy. He was long and lanky, looked like a fucking coyote. He still kind of does. You know, he just like, he was all big and goofy, but he loved sleeping on my chest. You know, he thought he was like a little chihuahua, and I still think he does think he's a little chihuahua. If you see like all his sweaters he has and everything, you know, he sleeps on the couch, you know, or the bed or whatever, and he always, you know, likes to cuddle. That's what he does, you know. He's a giant, you know, he's an extra large chihuahua, you know. And then with Abby, we had Abby first. And then with Abby, I guess one of Sierra's friends or longtime friends, DJ or whatever, knew someone that had her, but said they were gonna dump her on the freeway because they didn't want her anymore. Or I don't know if she had puppies before, or if she was like used for breeding or what, but we got her and she was like, her ears were like pitch black inside. They were all disgusting and fucked up. I believe she had fleas, you know, and she had like this huge thick like pit bull collar on or whatever. And because, you know, I'm assuming they had other pit bulls or they were just fucking dicks. So they seemed ghetto as fuck from the description of what I heard they were. Obviously, if they're gonna dump her on the freeway, like obviously they're pieces of shit. But yeah, so she came with like a chain and like the big thick pit bull collar and shit, and like you know, her fur eventually grew back and everything. But I remember the first night, like, cause she was like a year or so, like by the time we had gotten her. Like, the first night, she jumped up on the bed. Like, I called her on the bed. I was like, come here, Abby. We named her Abigail after the Motionless in White song, by the way. I always forget that, but yeah. She's named Abigail, but we call her Abby or Rabbit because she kind of looked like a rabbit, you know? I don't know. But, like, I remember the first night, you know, we ever had her, like, because the bed was under, like, my white shelves. I'm just saying this so I kind of remember it, you know? And we had like a bunch of lights and we listened to like soft music and stuff, or like, you know, element movies or whatever. So it was like a really nice calm scene. We had like stuff that went against the walls. We just painted the wall purple or whatever, just trying to paint a picture. You know, I have really bright colored stuff. And then, you know, she would look, because we put the treats on the top shelf, and then she'd look at us. She'd like, look at the treats, look at us, look at the treats, look at us. Like, she has so much personality, and she's like 11 now, you know, and she still does have so much personality, and she just loves so much. Like, she'll paw you, she'll get up there and like literally hug you, you know, like she just has so much love. But like the first time we got her, I just like patted the bed and she jumped up right next to me and laid next to me and cuddled me like she was like spooning like a human, you know. And then yeah, she's been a great dog, our yellow lab. And then Squirrel, our little chihuahua, we got like 2 years ago. Sierra saw him on a Pets Lifeline, like, posting or whatever, and so when she was out drinking with Brittany, Heather, and maybe Laura, I don't know, it was when she got really fucked up and I guess ended up making out with Heather, which really pissed me the fuck off, but they were Napa wine tasting, and somehow I'm not allowed to get mad about that, but that's a totally different story. Maybe I'll do a cheater video just talking about all this cheating shit she's in, but I love her, you know. But yeah, so with Squirrel, just like, you know, she kind of, what the fucking fuck, you fucking retard, fucking redneck motherfucker, tried to fucking basically almost ran into me. But with Squirrel, you know, me and Bella went to Sonoma because I was like, we were watching Bella, but Sierra was out, so, you know, like, me and Bella drove to Sonoma, which is past Napa, and, you know, we went to this little trailer, and they brought him this little 3-pound excited little motherfucker. He did his little bongo dance and, you know, rubbed on us and got all excited, so we took him home. You know, we've had him and loved him ever since, and he has such a personality, as you could tell from the pictures, little Squirrel. And yeah, I mean, the rest of the other puppies that we've had before and in the past, like, came and gone because of, you know, they were too annoying as a puppy, but I think the ones we got now are obviously here to stay, you know.